this morning. Wow, this wind is screaming through. Wow, look at this. This is this morning. We're on a high spring, and this is. Look at it on that wall there, see why they're bolstering the flood defences for the future. And this isn't the highest spring tide, but certainly being pushed by the wind. You can actually feel the waves slapping into the lock gates. Stop when the lights flash, the sign says. And the reason is the tide barrier's down, so no surprise there. We have a game of standoff. Peppy's hiding below the step. Kate is hiding in her box. Who will break first? And it looks like Peppy's forgetting already what he was supposed to be doing.
He was the one who got the tab.
And Kitty's still focused. Well, we've got Storm Francis now. And it's absolutely siling it down. Wow. Sorry, I've got a wet lens now. I think it's going to be an indoor day, don't you? So we'll just go through how we go about the run from York down to Hull. The first obstacle you will come across is obviously Naiburn Lock. Now you need to ring the lockkeeper, and I will put the numbers in the description below, 24 hours in advance to book your slot. He will let you out about 2 hours before high tide at Naiburn, which is around about 4 hours after high tide in Hull. After leaving Naiburn Lock, it's a run downstream, and the next point to be aware of is the confluence with the Ooze and the River Wharf. Just here. This is your call-up point for Cawood Bridge, and again, after ringing Naiburn Lock, ring Cawood Bridge, ring Selby Rail and Selby Toll to book your slots. The bridge keeper will ask you to hold at the ski pontoon, and then he will call you forward once he has opened the bridge, and it's fairly obvious which route to take through the bridge. After Cawood, it's a run down through the meanders. Now, one of the rules on the downstream section of the Ooze is to keep to the outside of the bend. Do not go to the inside of the bend, and do not cut corners. The reason is that is where the shallows are. So your next point is Turnhead Reach. Just here, this is your call-up point for Selby bridges. Again, the bridge keepers will give you instructions, usually to come down and hold by the towers a few hundred metres upstream from the bridge and wait to be called forward. The bridge is open in tandem and you cannot come forward until both bridges are open. It's very obvious which route to take. For both of these there is only one route open, one span. Another thing to be aware of, the speed limit on the River Ouse downstream is 10 knots. But in Selby that reduces to 6 knots. So after you've cleared the two bridges in Selby town, the next one is Selby bypass. Now you shouldn't have any issues with that. If you're a very tall vessel, then again you need to call them up in advance and then book your time through. As you approach the M62, the next thing to be aware of is once you come through the portside span, you need to come across at about 45 degrees to the outer bank. Do not cut this corner. I cannot stress that enough. Do not cross inside of Howden Dyke Island. You will not make it. Following that, take a transit from a number 4 post, which will be on your starboard side, and the 2 large silos to cut around the outside of the next span. As you approach Goole, round about this point, you must call up Goole Docks to get clearance to go through. Goole Docks, it's then just another run following the outside of the bends yet again until you arrive at Trent Falls. Now here, do not be tempted to carry on down the Humber. You need to turn into Trent Falls, and around about this point we find this is about a good holding around here just before a dike. You need to drop anchor and wait the next tide. Reason is the stretch between Trent Falls and the Humber Bridge is very, very shallow. I will put a link for the latest ABP chart for the Upper Humber in the description below. It's just not worth trying to cut a little bit of time. You won't get into Hull anyway. The locks at Hull are only open between 3 hours before high tide and 3 hours after high tide. The run from Trent Falls is about 16 miles. The channel is well marked. Do not try to cut corners. We have seen yachts and boats stuck on Reed's Island in particular for up to 12 days waiting the tide. Once you arrive outside of Hull Marina, call the lockkeeper up on channel 80 and await instructions to come in. We recommend you wait outside of the basin until the outer lock gates are actually open. So, enjoy your journey. It's not difficult, just requires some preparation and take your time. Remember, keep to the outside of the bends, do not cut corners, and do your homework before you set off. Thank you for watching. Please do like, share and subscribe to see more motor cruising on Ava Grace.